Capitol Hill. Martha?
That's for sure. Mike, thank you very much. Here now, Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney of New York. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Do you think that the president had any choice given all the restrictions in this bill?
Well, listen to all the Republicans who are opposing it. You know, that's good enough for me. The fact is that those of us who actually care about the Constitution and who care about the implications for where this money is coming from, people who care about our military. I represent West Point. You are literally talking about the funds that are going to be used to expand the cemetery, listen to me, the cemetery at West Point, not to mention the new science buildings, the new cadet facilities. That's the money the president's going to take, and he's going to have less money doing this extraordinary action than he could have had in a bipartisan compromise in December with no shutdown. This is a declaration of failure by the president and of weakness, and it's disgraceful.
Well, let me ask you about that. You know, it seems that the prior deal had the suggestion, at least, of helping Dreamers and DACA recipients. Have Democrats turned their backs on DACA and on Dreamers? Because it seems to me that there could have been a deal here that would have included some relief for them.
And the president could have had that deal a year and a half ago.
But why couldn't you give it to him now?
Excuse me, he rejected it because he wanted restrictions on legal immigration that he now says he supports. The fact is the president has been inconsistent and unclear about what his priorities are, and he has gotten himself a worse deal with more Republican opposition, conservative Republicans opposing the declaration he's now announcing than a deal he could have had in December, which would have had bipartisan support, more money for all the priorities.
Understood. I think a lot of
and he wouldn't be taking it from our military.
Understood. I mean, I think a lot of people who support the president are not happy with the deal that he got. But you didn't answer my.
It was lawless, and she is, threatening a lawsuit. Here she is.
We will review our options. We're prepared to respond appropriately to it. I know the Republicans have some unease about it, no matter what they say.
Well, plenty of them are saying that, right? We just heard a couple of them, including Rounds and Collins. Do you think some Republicans will actually stay on your side, Congressman, and fight this, or no?
Well, the Speaker has been very clear through this entire process. And again, I support Speaker Pelosi full-heartedly with the options that she will be exploring. Number two, I'm hopeful that Republicans will join us in this pursuit as well as we look at different options. And three, Congressman Castro was clear earlier today that he will be introducing a resolution if the president decides to move forward with a declaration of emergency, which then creates some additional legislative tools that we have at our disposal.
The question, though, is, you think the president can win here, right? So he gets to go to his base and say, I did everything I could. I didn't want to shut the government down, so I signed it. But I'm going to go this route, and I'm going to fight it in court. So then he gets his rally. He gets another boogeyman in the courts. He also is off the hook when it comes, Congressman,
another boogeyman. Really?
The wall works, right? Doesn't have to say, oh, guess what? The numbers are in. People are coming over. Drugs are still coming in. Doesn't actually have to fight those stats. Is he going to end up a winner here?
I do not believe so, Aaron. The American people have been very clear about their position on this. They do not support the president's use of an emergency declaration. The American people have been abundantly clear that they did not support the President Trump's shutdown over the last 35 days that hurt American families, 800,000 federal employees, almost 600,000 federal contractors, small businesses, local governments. So again, I do not believe that the president is going to come out a winner on this. But this isn't even about the president. This should be about the American people and about the national security of our country going forward and determining how we can work in a bipartisan basis to solve problems.
I really do.
Thank you.
To you.
Are they going to lay down this?
No, because there's so many legal issues here. This is like a jobs program for constitutional lawyers. First of all, is there actually a national emergency? Emergency sounds like an unforeseen crisis, as you say. This has been something that we've known about for years, and in fact, in the last 10 years, undocumented border crossings have gone down.
Right.
But the main issue is, where does the money come from? So when the president declares a national emergency, he unleashes all of these other laws that Congress has provided. The president can have this power if there's some crisis. but the money has to be tied to one of the specific laws. So it's not clear which of those emergency powers correlates to giving the president the right to take money that Congress has allocated to the military and use that to build a wall.
Well, let me go back to the politics, Troy. The Democrats are not going to like this. We heard from Jerry Nadler up in New York, where you are. I assume from center over to the left of the Democratic Party is not going to like it. Are the Republicans going to show some bone here, basically, and stop this, some spine?
No, because, Mitch McConnell has the same imperatives as Donald Trump. He's up for re-election in 2020. He can see Matt Bevin in his rearview mirror. If Bevin, who's now won statewide in Kentucky, decides to give himself an upgrade like Rick Scott did in Florida, he's got a problem. And so they've all got to go along with this. I can't imagine that inside of their Republican hearts, they really believe this is a good idea. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, got up today at all. Nancy Pelosi got up today and she said, go ahead and do it, because a president with different values, as she said, might believe climate change or gun violence is a national emergency. You have now opened the door. Look, the reality is, Chris, Harry Truman tried to declare national emergency and seize a steel mill, and he was told no by the courts, and there was a war going on. It was during the Korean War. It's not as if presidents can even get away with it in that situation. That's even before the National Emergencies Act. The reality is Congress is going to act. The power of the purse resides in the House of Representatives. So Nancy Pelosi will take the action that the Speaker has a right to do. It's going to leave Mitch McConnell and these supposedly constitutional conservatives like Ted Cruz in a real awkward position when they're arguing that a president can start to use these confiscatory powers, vast powers, to seize money. And this is going to unfold the same weekend. People are watching 60 Minutes, where Andrew McCabe, the former deputy FBI director, is saying, I was sitting across from a man who just won the presidency, potentially with the help of a foreign power. You want to invest that guy with the power to confiscate?
What?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I thought.
That whole question of the 25th Amendment. I want to talk to you, Troy, about. I wonder sometimes the parties change minds. The Democrats were the segregation party for too damn many years, right up into the 60s, and a lot of them stayed that way in the South. And Republicans sort of picked up with that with the Southern strategy of Nixon in '68. So they changed parties and.
No, I didn't mean to do that. Anyways, what it comes down to is that Trump is bankrupt in America. If he does a national emergency, he's pissing off everybody, and he will be impeached. Well, I don't know if that's going to be impeachment, but yeah, I mean, it's hurting him. Either way, Trump is bankrupt in America. Just watch.